Hi there, I'm Black Bright and I'm broadcasting out of the UK. And to be honest, I wasn't sure whether to do this on my Dark Shades channel or my Black Bright channel, but I decided to do it on my Black Bright channel because it's got legislation involved. Now, you're welcome to like, dislike, subscribe, share, it's up to you. But basically, I just really talk about lots of different things. And today I wanted to talk about a black man who was married to a white woman for 33 years and she decides to divorce him. Guess what for? Working too hard. And she won. Apparently, he was trying to keep a roof over their head, so he's paying the mortgage, doing most of the bills, and he did this for nearly 33 years. Now he's 64. I don't know how old she is, but she's now decided to divorce him because she said 20 years ago she wanted him to go on a holiday and he didn't come because he was working. Apparently, when they're having their family gatherings, he doesn't come along because he's working. Now, this is genuinely working. He's not committing adultery. He's not messing around. He is genuinely working, and she knows he's genuinely working. And yet, she's divorced him. And he's fighting it. Now, there's two things here. I mean, would you really want to fight a divorce knowing that somebody doesn't want to be with you anymore? Is she using the fact that he's never around as an excuse? Or does she genuinely feel that it is because he's not around? And if so, couldn't they have spoken about it and talked about, look, I understand that maybe years ago you had to work all of these hours, but now, our children are grown up. They must be near the end of the mortgage period. But oh no, she wants to divorce him. So I shouldn't really bring colour into it, but it is a black man married to a white woman. Okay? And what it appears is that because of the terms of the divorce settlement, she's screwing him over. Because apparently, I didn't even know you could do this. She's actually made a financial settlement even after he dies. She is entitled to his estate alive and dead. I didn't even know you could do that. And apparently, next year, what is coming out? A no-fault divorce settlement. That means anyone can get divorced willy-nilly, no reason. Doesn't have to be anyone's fault. All that time and money you've invested in your marriage over the years is not going to count for squat. Now, what he's saying is that the divorce rules or the divorce legislation disadvantages men. It's made to disadvantage men. But we know that, don't we? Because regardless of what happens, normally it's the woman who gets the house, it's the woman that gets 50%, and it's the woman that, puts the man through the ringer in the majority of cases. So I'm going to just read it out quickly. He's an IT consultant. He's claiming his human rights have been breached after his white wife was granted a divorce. Now, they didn't put colour in the newspaper, and the newspaper was the Metro. So, authentic newspaper, not making it up. So Charles Ayu Kumi, 64 years old, was divorced for working too much, and he's challenging it at the High Court. The reason for the divorce was unreasonable behaviour. And what he's saying is that phrase is too vague. It needs to be specific because it breaches human rights when it's not specific. And he reckons it is not defined in law. So unreasonable behaviour is not defined in law. And he says it makes separation too easy. And it's right, because unreasonable behaviour is relative. It could be anything, couldn't it? It could be you nagging at somebody. It could be you leaving your coming in all hours. I mean, what is unreasonable behaviour? I can understand irreconcilable differences because that means you totally have nothing in common. But unreasonable behaviour, maybe working 24/7 is unreasonable behaviour. Maybe it is. Because when you marry someone, you don't really expect them to be working weekends, evenings, all hours of the night. Yes, you have to pay for a roof over your head, but it is a bit much. There needs, and to not take a break over the holidays, that is a big ask. So now she's asking him to cough up. I don't know why it took her 33 years to decide to divorce him. I mean, surely she must have known about 5 or 10 years in that it wasn't working. But no, what does she do? She waits until the mortgage is paid off and she's got a nice little financial settlement. That's the part I think is not fair. Because as far as I'm concerned, if the relationship is such that I think his behaviour is unreasonable, I'm not going to wait 33 years to tell him and then take him to court. I wouldn't do that. I would know 5 years. You must know 5 years in. And if he's a type of person who says, look, under no circumstances, we need to work, we need to pay for this, we need to do that. If he's insistent, then I would say to him, I'd warn him, well, I'm sorry then, babes. If this is how this marriage is going to be, I'm going to file for a divorce. That's what I would do. And then he can decide at that point what is more important. What is the point of having a house and a mortgage and then you get turfed out of it at the end of it and you've got no wife? Why did you put in 24/7 for over 30 years? Is it worth it? Anyway, like I said, a no-fault divorce legislation is due to come into effect next year, and he's saying it should be repealed. He's saying it shouldn't come into force. The Matrimonial Causes Act 1975 breaks the Human Rights Act, he says, because it lacks legal definition. And like I said, Charles feels divorce should be available for domestic abuse and adultery, but says that the law is open-ended in terms of a financial settlement and feels that divorce laws are biased against men. His wife is demanding maintenance until he dies and beyond the grave if she outlives him. How can she demand maintenance if they've got no young children? I don't get it. What is she applying? What is she claiming maintenance for? And it's just her. Please, if somebody knows the answer, please put it in the comments because I am baffled. Totally baffled. The law allows her to claim from his estate if he dies, even though they are divorced. Mr. Ayakuni bought his crowd-funded case and it was heard yesterday. I'd love to know what the outcome was. I really would love. Actually, I think I'm going to put a search in the engine after this and see if I can find out what happened. But I think it's absolutely disgraceful. I mean, once you reach a certain age, you should be able to separate amicably. You take what's yours, he takes what's his, and you go about your business and start your life over. Why try to screw him over and take him for everything he's got? Anyway, my phone's going crazy, so I'm going to stop now. Bye-bye.